of feeling anxious and insecure every time you have to speak up or put yourself out there to market your business? Well, the truth is, confidence is not something you can acquire overnight. It's just like building a successful business, it takes time and effort to develop the self assurance and belief in yourself that you need to thrive. But don't worry. In this episode of Make It Click, my guest, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and I are going to share how podcasting can help you build your confidence. Welcome to the show, Dr. Dolores.
Well, thanks, Christine. It's a pleasure to be here. And once again, I love going live. It's definitely a confidence builder.
Yes, it is. Well, let's just jump right in. So, you are Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner and medical intuitive. So, how what led you to putting yourself out there? Now, I know, when we first met, you had just published a book. Was that did you have, an idea in mind, through the last few years of the process you wanted to go to? Once I get this in place, then the next piece I want is this.
Yeah,
Um
Christine, it's always been in the back of my mind to be on a podcast or webinars and summits. And I've done so many of them over the years that I just felt like I was really ready to take the next step to create my own podcast or video podcast, as we call it. And when you're ready, you're ready. It's just like you just know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's almost like the intuitively I was keep getting that nudge that it's time to go in that direction. So sometimes when you make that decision, all the parts start lining up, and you were one crucial part that showed up because I was listening to you speak shortly after that, and what you are doing with podcasters and creating a program to assist people who are new in podcasting and creating their own program. I said, oh my God, this is like, thank you, heaven. It's just like, once you decide, it's almost like the pieces start lining up. And that's the way it has been with my video podcasting. So I thank you for giving me the tools that have allowed me to set this up for success, basically. So.
Oh, you're so welcome, Dr. Dolores. I'm just curious though. So, yes, you made the decision, and we all make lots of decisions of yes, this is what I want to do. Did you feel that the confidence was there from the get go, or how did you feel? Like you say, you were on other shows, you were a guest many times and speaking and whatnot, but the thought of, oh my, this is my show. How were you feeling?
Um, it's definitely a confidence booster. It's also been a growth opportunity as well. It's like stretching yourself to the next level. I think for myself is that I sometimes need to challenge myself to go and and play bigger than I did before. So this is the example of taking the next step up to playing bigger. And with that, it's always a growth opportunity. I think I always look at every situation. It's like it's expanding your capability. And as you expand your capability, more and more opportunities come towards you. It's kind of interesting how that happens. And it's just allowing yourself to step into the flow of that. And it's just, that's what I call like, it's a sweet spot and when the magic starts happening.
Awesome. Was there anything, from the time you decided and until now, that you found to be more difficult than another piece? Now, yes, we work together with some of the technology pieces, but was there anything in particular that was more difficult for you?
I think, segueing from doing like a solo type of event, where I was just, dialoguing and sharing information to segueing to having guests on. has been a little more of a challenge because everybody is at different spots with their technology
Mhm.
guest wise. So that has been a little, definitely a growth opportunity, because I know for me, technology is just like, ah, it's like, that's not,
Oh, no, no, oh, Doctor Dolores, you did fantastic with the technology. I am so proud of you.
oh, thank you. Well, it was very user friendly. The platforms that are out there, I just love it where you just have everything in one place. You do your thing and it gets shooted out to every place. I'm like, yes, please. I'm into like less is more. This is like the best thing ever. Yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. That's what I'm all about too. Yes, keep it as simple as possible. Now tell us, Dr. Dolores, about some of your aha moments from, pre-launch to launching your show. What things have happened that you're like, wow, that was
Well, this is kind of interesting because I think a lot of times when you go live and you're looking at the little thing and nobody's on the screen listening or whatever, you're wondering, am I like speaking to the ethers and it doesn't really matter? And those aha moments came through those experiences because since it's going out to numerous platforms, okay, you don't know when people are going to hear it, where and how they're going to hear it. It's just like one big, you're just putting it out into the universe. And surprisingly, I've gotten feedback from other people who've said, thank you so much. I listened to your show and I needed to hear what you shared today. It's like those little things that just, so you are making a difference, knowing that, what you're doing is contributing and making a difference to the world. So, sometimes, yeah, there's going to be nobody, live, which is fine. But sometimes there'll be responses later on after it gets published everywhere. And it's like connecting with those people that have made comments and, acknowledging them for showing up and thanking them and reaching out to them and connecting. That has really been where a lot of the aha moments have been for me. So that is one thing I want to share with people, because don't get discouraged if you see nothing happening, because sometimes the magic happens after the fact.
well, and that is the beauty of the system that we are using, is that yes, like you say, it's great to have people listening live, but afterwards, it's amazing how many people are seeing your show after the fact. Uh, so yeah, it's the system. Have the right system, and it can really help. Now, you had mentioned about some of the comments that you have gotten from people and that people are appreciating your content. Now, that it's got to feel wonderful, and just thinking that if you did not have your show, these people wouldn't be benefiting.
Very true. And, to me, it's an encouragement to carry on, so there's not 100 people or two people or zero people on the line. You never know who it's going to reach and when it's going to reach it. And that's my philosophy, because it's like, I feel like there's so much going on in our world right now, and there's so much chaos, and there's really a lot of cries for help. But sometimes you can't hear those cries.
Yeah.
And, sometimes people just serendipitously come across your material or whatever. And, sometimes, they need that inspiration and hope. I mean, we're in a place right now where a lot of paradigms are getting unsettled and shifting and crumbling. And, me and being in healthcare, that's one paradigm that's really crumbling right before our eyes and quickly. And, in my podcast, I offer people possibilities for healing in ways they never thought possible. That's the name of the show, Healing in Ways You Never Thought Possible, because there's more going on than just the physical. There's the emotional, mental, and spiritual and dimensional. And a lot of times that is the undercurrent of what drives the physical. And when we're able to heal from those components, we do create lasting health and true wellness. And when you have guests, I have guests that come on that talk about their miraculous healing, um, things that have happened in their life, whether it's with physical challenges, mental, emotional, spiritual challenges, because there's more than just taking a pill and doing a procedure. It's like looking at the deeper parts of what's really going on. And yes, healing is our birthright. We're sovereign beings, and we are here to have complete health and wellness, and we are responsible for that. So it's about taking ownership and responsibility and allowing yourself to receive this instead of giving your power away to something outside of yourself. All the answers are within yourself. You just have to trust that.
Oh, that's wonderful, Dr. Dolores. Since the first time we met, I've just found it fascinating to listen to you and to hear story. You are in the medical community. That's your job. But for many, many years, you've been a medical intuitive, and some of the conversations you've told me about with some medical staff and whatnot, and how you're starting to help open their eyes. It's just fascinating. And yes, your podcast, we definitely need to get more viewers, get people to your YouTube channel and whatnot, because you have information the world really needs to know. Now, Dr. Dolores, I do have a final question for you, but I just want you to stay with me for a few seconds here. Are you tired of hoping and praying for your next sale? I hear you. I want you to book a call with me so we can get this under control. Let me show you the marketing strategies and the tools you should be using. Go to callchristineR.com and schedule now. Now, Dr. Dolores, my final question for you is, now we've talked, yes, you launched your podcast and we talked about the technologies and whatnot, but when we look back at your whole business over the years, is there something besides podcasting, because we all know how wonderful that is there something that comes to mind that really helped make it click for you, that you were really starting to connect with clients and helping people, or maybe it was just in your systems and processes, just saying. uh, so is there something that might come to mind for you that you could share with our listeners about, what really helped you with your business?
You know, I've been self-employed probably the majority of my adult life. So probably the last 34-ish years. And I feel that this has probably been, and it all started because I couldn't take vacation when I wanted to. So, I mean, I'm a rebel at heart, and I decided that in order for me to move forward with what I needed to accomplish in my life, I needed to have the freedom and the liberty to do things on my terms. And the best way to do that was to become self-employed, which was really a godsend for me. But it allowed me to follow my own path and trajectory of what I needed to do and the next steps. And sometimes, you know what, we don't know what our next steps are, because the most important thing is you have to be in the present moment, because that's where you're able to take your next, get the information of what direction to follow. It's all about trusting your instincts, your intuition, that little voice, but also um, being working on yourself and becoming complete and whole within yourself, so you don't miss those opportunities within that the universe is trying to provide for you. You get out of your own way, so to say.
Mm. Wow. Thank you for that, Dr. Dolores. Well, I'm sure our listeners would love to stay in touch with you. Do you have something for the listeners today?
I do. I have, if you go to my website, and I think, Christine, you have a link below here too. There is, so many of us have issues with being in the present moment. And we're in our head a lot, and we're like worrying about yesterday, contemplating tomorrow, but rarely are we right here, right now, in the present moment in our physical bodies. And I have a meditation. It's a guided meditation to help you stay present in the moment. And the link below is listed. It's drdoloresfazzino.com/free video /. And it's a very short meditation that allows you to stay in the present moment. And once you do that, you will notice a difference from what you were prior to listening to that particular meditation.
Well, thank you so much for that, Dr. Dolores. So, listeners, go to drdoloresfazzino.com /free video /. I know it's long, but you can find it. Thank you so much, Dr. Dolores, for being my guest today on Make It Click.
Thanks a lot.